And I have people come at me that say, oh, you say women should, look good when they go out and wash their hair and whatever. And one of them said that makeup is a patriarchal tool, a tool of the patriarchy. And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I find that most women, obviously it's not for everybody, but most women like to decorate. And they like to decorate themselves and
It's
dress.
innate. It's innate.
It's how we roll. It's who we are. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And there's this whole movement in feminism today. What is it? The second or third wave of third wave, I think it's called, the feminism now, where it's all about negating your femininity. I'm not going to be equal to a man. I don't want to be equal to a man. I want to be different from a man. Of course, we have equal rights. We make equal money, all those no-brainers. But other than that, vive la différence. It's fabulous. The yin and the yang. Yin.
Yeah. I love to embrace. Yeah. I think just embrace who you are. And I like slapping some makeup on, and I'm all about the book Girl Wash Your Face, because I think the premise of this bestseller is you'll feel better. Girl, wash your face.
I've seen that. I want to look at that book, because that's I tell everybody, dress when you go out. Dress every day as if you're going out on a date, because you're going out on a date with destiny. You don't know. When you're looking at a book at Barnes and Noble and somebody is standing next to you and he's cute, you could ask him if he's read that book. I mean, there's and I'm not just talking about romance. I'm talking about career opportunities, everything. Because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you're confident. And when you're confident, wonderful things come into your life. You attract wonderful things because, of course, you're vibing wonderful. You're only ever going to attract what you vibe. And for example, in relationships, the self-love part comes in there, because if you don't want to have a relationship with you, why would anyone else? And so that's a vibe too, of you loving yourself and bringing it in. And you will always bring in what you're vibing out, always.
That is so good. And it's been a constant theme on my last 3 podcasts. I'm serious. I had the girl from askwomen.com on, and that was one of the things she said is, if you don't love you, why, if you don't think you're great, why would anyone else think that? And so how can women that maybe don't feel they're so great right now, maybe they feel frumpy and they feel not hot because they've been knee deep in, I don't know, diapers or working a job they hate. How can they begin to change that story?
You can just take little baby steps, which are the way you can make the best changes in any way in life. You don't want to be overwhelmed. You don't want it to overwhelm you like at a New Year's resolution that you can't keep. It's better to start with baby steps. And I always point out the power of red, slap on some red lipstick, honey. That easy. And just look in the mirror as you walk by and say, hello, gorgeous, like Barbara Streisand did to her Oscar. Because, just keep putting that out there. I write on my mirror, I love you, you're beautiful, in my Chanel Pirate Red lipstick. I write that on my mirror in a big heart, and then I see it as I go by. So, I mean, something as simple as red lipstick can do it, but obviously I'm with you, Linda. I'm a proponent of working out, working your body, because of how it makes you feel. It makes you feel fabulous. It makes you look fabulous. It's wonderful to be strong. It's wonderful to have powerful abs. I love having strong abs, especially. There's something about that that's very powerful to me. And it's just, you see older men, they always, when they're losing their status and their power and their mojo, they get guts. I think there's something.
Okay.
it's a power center. It's the solar plexus. And I think the more that you tend to that, the better you feel. And oh boy, endorphins and circulation and everything. And just keep it fresh in your life. Keep it fresh. This is the key I found to not aging, because I believe that when things get old, we get old. So, when you go to the Chinese restaurant, how many people do this? I've also, I'll fess up, I have done this. You'll order your favorite thing on the menu. Why not try that weird vegetable over there in the corner? It's not going to kill you. Just little things like that, find the beauty in life, find the joy in small moments, because I don't think there's going to be a complete overload of happiness all the time or sadness all the time. I think it's in the moments, like last night we had a thunderstorm here in New York, and I lay in bed listening to that, and that is one of life's beautiful moments to me, a thunderstorm. I love it. So passionate.
So you also talk a lot in your book about getting rid of toxic people.
Oh yeah.
So how does that
Leave those hoes. Well, people that bring you down, people that suck your energy. I mean, they're called energy vampires for a reason. I've known people, for example, who all they do is whine and complain.
Oh yeah.
And they want an audience, and you're standing there and you're looking at, you're trying to find a reason to get away, because they're pulling your energy out of you. They're sucking you at the same time as they're boring the hell out of you. And I can forgive a lot of things, but not if it's not boring me. I'm out of there. And so people like that, they just have to go, because they expect you to be their therapist. And why should you be? They're obviously not interested in changing, because then they wouldn't have a victim pity party to parade around and get attention with. So they're not going anywhere. So you need to go somewhere, which is away from them. And toxic situations, if you're in a bad marriage, how many of us have done this, me included? I've stayed in relationships long after I knew they were done. How about if we could just say, this is done, and be strong and not wait 2 years and wallow in it for another 2 years, because it's probably not going to change. If you're at the point where you say this is done, I'm sure it is. And then jobs, a lot of people tolerate jobs that they absolutely hate. I think it's something like 70% of people working are working for a paycheck. That is, I think that's really frightening. When you think of how many hours a day we spend in work, you need to love your work. You need to spring up out of bed every day and be rubbing your hands together to do it. It has to be play. It has to be such a part of you and a part of your essence and who you are. It has to be your talent. It has to be your gift. It has to be what makes you unique and different from other people. It's that thing in you that you can do for hours without looking at the clock. That's how you know what you should be doing.
I love that. That is your gift.
And everybody has something. I mean, I have people tell me all the time, oh, but I'm not good at anything. That isn't true. It just isn't true. And usually what you're good at is what you should be. Usually what you're good at is what you also enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. That's where you should be. So, people need to get a grip and say, hey, I hate this job. I certainly don't tell people to leave their job like that. That would be silly. But make your plan, make your escape plan, because that'll make your job right there. That'll make your job so much more bearable. Make your plan, how you're going to get out. Are you going to get your real estate license at night?